Welcome to the Dits on Wrestling podcast, and it is nice to say that again after another break. We seem to be on breaks all the time, more than Ross and Rachel. Welcome in. We are, of course, part of Project Dits. What did you just say?
We're on a break.
We were on a break.
People got that reference and be like, Ross and Rachel. Who is that? Is that on SmackDown?
Who dat? Topical. Many years ago.
90s topics.
But welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show. Yeah, of course, we are part of Project It's the podcast network that keeps on giving. That is not the tagline, but maybe we can make that a thing. Maybe make that a thing. But I hope everyone had a lovely Christmas and a lovely New Year. Albeit kind of different than what we had last year because of certain things that might be going on in the world. You may know about it. But Anthony, how are you? It's nice to be. I say this as if we've not been talking for the last 45 minutes, but you got to do it. You got to do it. How are you, Anthony? I haven't talked to you for 3 weeks.
As if we hadn't just bullshitted.
There's
for
no pre-roll.
45 minutes before we started recording. I'm good. Feeling ready to get back into the DOWPOD saddle once again as we embark on 2021 and potentially a new direction for this podcast.
Yes. And well, I guess we should indulge a little bit on that. So what the kind of thing we were looking at doing is, we've been away from highlights anyway for a long time now because that's what I was doing solo, and I think we might have done it a little bit when you became an official co-host, but I hate it. Looking back, I hate it. I don't hate that other people do it. That's fine, but I hate doing it myself. This is the thing. I hate watching wrestling and taking notes. That is something that I have grown to absolutely despise because it takes you out of it. Because you're like, oh, hang on, let me just pause it there. Okay, so he just did that. Oh, God, his facial reaction at that moment, that was really. Oh yeah, and this, yeah. It's like, and then you press play. Oh, fucking hell, this 20-minute match has now taken 50 minutes. It's like, nah, not for me. So highlights are gone. We're not doing it. No pay-per-view reviews. Nothing. Nothing. But what we're going to focus on, and over the last couple of weeks, I've been watching a couple of panel shows and sports-based ones, and I'm taking inspiration a little bit from the Talking Smacks and all that kind of stuff. And I want us to be topical every week, which I know we kind of were towards the back end of the year. We did discuss the Roman Reigns effect. We've done stuff on the Intercontinental title because it was in a bit of a rut last year, and we covered that more or less straight away. So we've been topical at points, but I want it to be every week. So from now on, we're going to be covering what has happened in the week, but rather than stretching out a individual topic over that whole hour or whatever the episode is, I run this show, so I decide how long it goes. So instead of doing let's talk about Goldberg for an hour and 20 minutes, we will talk about Goldberg for about 6 or 7 minutes, and we'll cover a certain amount of topics throughout the episode. But I think the big thing, that's not an original thing. I put my hands up in the air and I admit that I'm usually Mr. Originality. I've got loads of crazy ideas that come out of my head. That's not original.
No.
But I think it's something that will make us better, which is just as important.
Yes.
And the other thing as well, which I want to do because we enjoyed a little bit of fan engagement towards the back end of the year, last year. And I want to expand on that a little bit. So, and to give it a bit of a more personal touch, because, you hear our voices every week, and whether you fall asleep to them or you enjoy them, that's on you. But I want it to be a more personal experience, so in the next couple of weeks, we're going to look at doing, turning this into a video podcast, essentially. Of course, the audio the audio of the pod will still come up on the Project Dits podcast feed, so if you're not into that kind of thing, that nothing really changes on that front. But if you do want to enjoy the video side of things, you'll have our lovely faces on YouTube.
They are lovely. Lovely faces.
And Anthony's been doing that himself for the last couple of months as well with your disguised coverage stuff, which I'm sure you'll plug at some point during this episode.
Yeah.
Maybe. I might just sneak that one in at some point.
I might sneak it in there.
That's what she said.
Hey-o. Off to a good
In
start.
fact, it's probably the other way around, isn't it? That's probably what he said. That's probably what
You never
he
know.
said.
I mean, hey, it's 2021, man. Equal opportunity for everyone. No judgment.
It's a fresh start.
Fresh start.
Love for everybody.
Same thing.
And then I think the big thing, which comes with that video podcast side of things, is we're going to look at doing a live show. One live show every month on a Saturday night, because that's when we tend to record anyway. That's when we're recording right now, over on Twitch. And yeah, it'll essentially be us recording the show that you would have heard on Monday, but we'll be doing it live, so it'll be a more interactive experience for you guys, just to add even more and play more into that engagement side of things. So that's where we're going with the DOWPOD at the early stages of 2021. But I'm excited to do. I mean, it's not completely different to what we've been doing. Obviously, the video side of it is, but I'm looking forward to actually deep diving into a number of topics throughout the week rather than just focusing on the singular. And that's not to say that Draft That is going away, because it's not. Draft That is one of my favorite series. I'd hate to say goodbye to that, and I don't know what's going to happen to the other stuff that we do. But Draft That is definitely not going anywhere.
But there's a lot of, I mean, to your point of the direction we're going in 2021 and everything really that we finished on with where we were in 2020, I think the amount of content we put out and the varying nature of it in terms of what we were doing and how we were doing it and how often and when and how many things we touched and hit on, it was a lot. And we cast a wide net, not in a negative way, but we cast a wide net, and to be able to see now where we go and we go forward and narrowing down and kind of niching down a little more while still maintaining, I think, the integrity of the show, which is your creativity and the ideas that have come from your brain, like Draft That, which is the thing that brought us together for the first episode.
That's true.
Me appearing on the DOWPOD. So that is very near and dear to my heart as well as it is to the listeners. So yeah, I think it's a good mix of, you know, what we're going to do going forward. So there will be some newness and in terms of how you're able to consume the content and the direction we're going in, but you will still be getting that taste of originality and what the DOWPOD truly is as it's at its core will not be going away.
Yes. And that's the main thing. I don't want to change too much. Because in my head, I was just like, oh, we could do this, we could do that, we could do this. And then it was just like, well, it's not the DOWPOD anymore if I'd literally just change everything from top to bottom. It's just not what we are.
It wouldn't be the same.
So it's been, I'd say discreet changes. But
just great. Tasteful.
Lovely.
Look at us.
Look at us. Would you look at us?
Look at us.
Not up in here.
Not up in here.
But in pre-roll, just for a little bit more on that, I don't know why, but we've just been saying "not up in here" for a good 45 minutes. Yeah, I don't know why, but it seems to fit with absolutely everything. That is the episode title today. Not up in her. Not up in her. Not up in her. Not up in her. Not her, like the G way of saying
like,
it. Her.
Yeah, exactly. The cool way.
It's hot and her.
Like Nelly.
Yes.
Which is also a big thing for 2021. Nelly is going to be doing several guest appearances on this pod, right?
Fun fact.
That's the segue.
My dad detests Nelly, or used to anyway, and used to call him Condom Head. So there's a fun little fact for you.
Wow.
I don't know why that insult from him sticks in my head, but it does, and I will forever think of Nelly as a condom head.
It'd be funny if Nelly knew who your dad was and like also hated your dad, and you were just like, "What? How do they know each other? Why do they hate each other so much? What are you not telling me? What are you not telling me?
Not up in here.
Not up in here.
Not up in here." Yes. So today, we are, and this is fun because I didn't actually think we would do it. When I said it last year, I didn't think we would actually do it, but last year on the show, I said, you know what would be fun? If next year, around the same time, we take a look back and see if the predictions we made for 2020 actually came true.
We long-term booked this.
We did. This is long-term booking at its finest. So I have dived into the episode we did last year And you weren't a co-host, an official co-host at that point either, which was
true.
nice.
I was not.
And I've taken all the predictions down that we made, and we're going to run through those before we go into our 2021 predictions, which of course is what this episode is about. If you haven't seen the title,
okay.
So, whose predictions do you want to go through first? Mine or yours?
You're the host, so we'll go through yours.
Interesting. Okay. So, so this one, we did a lot of Rumble ones because I think at this time of year it's kind of a natural way to go, and no doubt there'll be some more Rumble predictions for 2021 later on in the episode. But I was close with this one. I said Shayna would win the Rumble.
We were so close.
She came second.
She should have. Oh God, I hate.
She
the way
should
lost.
have. She should have. Absolutely. I also said Nia would return at the Rumble. I don't think she did.
No, I'm going to be honest. I don't really pay attention to anything Nia does, except when she almost kills someone in the ring because she's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, check out the Whammy Awards from before Christmas. She may have heavily featured in the worst categories. I cannot confirm nor deny.
Yeah, I can confirm.
But I can confirm.
She's there a lot. She's there a lot.
This one was an interesting one, but I don't know. I think it was probably an easy prediction to make, but I actually put a timestamp on this one. I said Moxley would be AEW World Champ, but I said it would be around August time when he would get it.
Oh, so he got it a little later. Oh no, well he got it. No,
I think it was earlier, wasn't it?
Yeah, earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, so you were close. Okay. I like it.
And this one wasn't far off. We just got the company wrong. New Japan works with AEW. It turned out to be Impact.
Yeah, we were so close.
So we were close to that one. You also predicted that.
Yeah. I'm waiting for you to predict some random prediction of I predicted Becky Lynch would get pregnant.
No, we're not weird on this show, so we wouldn't predict those kind of things. Alexa Bliss will adopt a new pig into her house. This is the content you're here for.
This is what you're here for.
We predict the personal lives of the wrestlers you love and know.
While we watch them from outside their houses.
We got to confirm it some way. Not everything goes up on social media, so we have to back up our predictions.
We are fact-based on this show. We're not just going to make things up.
Oh, absolutely. Now, this one was interesting, and I absolutely nailed this. So, I said Drew would win the title in 2020.
McIntyre sucks.
Which he did. No, not up in here.
Not up in here.
But before we actually did what are our actual predictions, because we did obviously a lot of waffle before we came to it. I actually said in we were talking about the Rumble and how it was all going to pan out. I did say or predicted that Drew would eliminate Brock, go on to face him at WrestleMania, and beat him.
I do remember that.
I nailed that.
But he didn't. Did he beat him at Mania?
Yeah.
Right? What am I thinking? Oh, I don't know why I was thinking Goldberg and Braun Strowman at WrestleMania. That car wreck of a match.
I mean, to be fair, I'll put my hands up and say Drew versus Brock was a car wreck as well.
I don't remember it.
Honestly, 2020 in wrestling is a massive blur to me, except a couple of storylines and shows.
The classic was Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank, which has been was erased from my memory, so you just brought it up again. Cheers for that.
You're welcome. I only remember from Mania. I only remember Charlotte and Rhea Ripley.
Oh, yeah, that was a good match.
Yeah, that was a good match, and I remember Rhea losing, and I was like, oh, of course. I don't know why I thought this would be anything different than this.
Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah,
that was sad.
But then there were also rumors of she has to go back to Australia, New Zealand, wherever she's from.
Yes, I remember.
Because of COVID, and there was different things with that or something with that, and I was like, oh, okay. Or her visa was something weird like that, and then they were trying to play it off like that. But that's the only match I really remember. I don't remember Brock and Drew, which is funny because I remember very vividly how Drew eliminated Brock and how well Brock sold it. And amazing. I remember the Rumble pretty well. Yeah, it was really great. Brock, we've talked about on the show before, Brock is a very underrated seller. He sold the hell out of the Claymore. Yeah, I don't remember, but I do remember your prediction because you do love Drew McIntyre, even though he's terrible. But yeah, I do remember that. because I remember texting you when it happened. I was like, "Oh, look what happened!"
No, in fact, you ruined it. If I remember
that's
rightly,
right.
You ruined the Rumble because I think I was
I
I had to go up, and I think one of my kids woke up, and I just had to like sort them out and say, "Oh, get back to sleep." So I paused the feed, went back down, and carried on watching it. And I obviously then stayed off social media because it's the Rumbles, things happen. And then you drop a little thing, which I just clocked out the side of my the DM came up.
It was something innocent like, "Oh, you must be really happy your boy won." It was something like that, and you were like, "I'm actually behind."
I was like, no, but I was also happy, so I didn't really mind. But you took my pop away from me, you absolute bastard.
Yeah, you got that prediction spot on. That was close. I mean, mine wasn't like a prediction, but I just remember before Survivor Series of last year I guess 2019, where I was like, Walter's going to get called up and get eliminated in like a minute and a half, and then it happened, and I was like, well, there's that.
Yeah, there was a lot of Walter sadness around that period. It's strange to think, isn't it, that Walter randomly appeared on Raw for, I don't know, a week or two, Survivor Series, and then just disappeared.
So weird. I don't think Triple H said something recently about how like special Walter is and how unique of a character he is and how he should be booked and how he should be seen. And it was really like spot on and really smart, but it when you juxtapose it with how he was brought up on WWE, and I thought of that, like, I wonder if but because I feel like a lot of the wrestlers don't have any power. Like, if Vince wants them to do something, they're going to do something. But I've thought of that, like, because he's really not even been NXT based. He's really been like NXT UK.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because of COVID or it's because of him, but I also know that he's very like, for as much as like wrestling is scripted and, you know, he plays a character, he believes, like a lot of what he says, he believes in the sport of professional wrestling, and he is true to like the craft of it. So like the glitz and glam and the booking and the style that WWE main roster does is very much like not something that he wants to be a part of. And so I found that interesting, like how much he's really stayed away and just been in NXT UK. But then I think, again, like, is it COVID stuff? Is it travel things? Is it, I mean, also Vince might not really even care about him because he probably just sees him. He's like, oh, look at this bland, you know, like fat white guy. He's terrible. Like, I don't like him. I don't need him. He's awful. Give me Roman Reigns.
I mean, Roman Reigns isn't that bad of a thing at the moment, to be fair. But
no, but I mean, and I mean, I don't mean that as like a disparaging remark towards Roman. I just mean it in like Roman.
Vince likes what he likes.
He fits the archetype of what Vince looks for in like a main dude. Like Drew fits that mold as well. Like you can tell the kind of guy that like Vince wants to build around, and you can also tell the type of guys that Vince doesn't want to build around. And I mean, we've gotten lucky now with just how it finally worked out for Roman, but it didn't for such a long time. But yeah, I don't mean to make that as like a disparaging remark to Roman. You could just tell that Roman Reigns and Walter look like two completely different people, and Vince prefers one very much so over the other.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot over the course of history. And speaking of one of the people that Vince doesn't really tend to float towards, I predicted that Owens would win the title. Or one of the world titles. He had an interesting 20. He had a strong 2020 at the end a little bit with his feud with Roman Reigns. I really enjoyed his Roman stuff. I thought it was really good, and obviously to an extent of that, Jey Uso as well. And I don't think it's over.
That's the best thing that WWE. I don't think it is either. And that's the best thing WWE has had going. Everybody who's been involved in that storyline has like really benefited. It's been really good.
But I try and think back and go, what else did he do this year? I know he feuded with Seth for seemingly ages. And then he kind of floated around Raw for a while. Not really.
He was just doing anything. He was just there. Yeah. You could tell he was one of those dudes that they were like, oh, this week, you know, we're going to have a feud with like this guy. And then next week it was like, no, you're going to start with this guy. And then the next week it was like, no, we're going to do this. And it was like, do you have any direction for me? And they were like, no, not at all.
And then they just used him for the KO show.
Yep.
I go, there you go. And then he just kind of stands to one side and lets everybody else act out their story. But it was nice to see him end 2020 on a high. However, that prediction was wrong. But he was in the title picture, so...
Fair enough. So, you get some points for that.
I said Keith Lee would either win the NXT championship, and he would be the one to beat Adam Cole, which he was.
Or
he would win the North American championship. I did not realize he would win both.
Correct.
I also predicted down in NXT that Io Shirai would be the NXT Women's Champion.
Correct.
On her way out of the company, though. Like, she would do this run, and then she would leave and go back to Japan or whatever. And then I also said Pete Dunne would be NXT champion as well, which was nowhere near close to being even remotely true. But maybe, if COVID wasn't a thing...
Yeah. COVID really threw a wrench in all of our plans and every prediction. Like, we don't know what could have happened in literally like any shape or form. Who knows? Maybe even the Roman Reigns thing that we're talking about is a perfect example. Who knows what happens with Roman Reigns? Because if not for COVID, he doesn't go away.
That's true.
He stays, and I don't know what direction he probably does it. I don't want to say probably and seem like, well, you're just trying to bag on WWE, but I don't know. Is he still getting dog food put in his face if there's no COVID? Like, I don't want to say blessing in disguise, because that's not I don't want it to sound like that, but just, what an opportunity and a hole it created, and an opportunity for his booking for him to go away. And just, since he's come back, it's been the best thing hands down in WWE, but it's been one of the best things in wrestling as a whole. And if not for COVID, who knows where Roman would be? Who knows where Drew would be? Maybe, Drew wins the title and the reactions are awesome and he's like a top dude, or maybe the reactions kind of fall flat and maybe he loses the belt sooner than we thought. We don't know. There's literally so many angles with NXT and WWE that I think were affected and changed based on COVID. So who knows where we'd be? And our predictions obviously are going to reflect that.
Yeah. We would. Well, NXT-less Survivor Series as well. So there's lots of things we missed out on. And that's going to happen obviously again this year, because as far as I'm aware, as of right now, there is no crowd for the Rumble, which is interesting.
Yeah, I don't think there should be, or there would be.
I don't know. It probably won't ruin it for me, because a surprise is a surprise, but it just depends how heavy they go with piping in the crowd noise, because for the last 2 weeks we've had "You suck" chants being piped in for Roman Reigns, and it's kind of like, no, because that's an organic chant from the crowd reacting to something they're seeing in the ring. Don't pipe that in and assume that's what we're saying.
No,
just because that fits your agenda. I
exactly.
don't like it.
That's like, no, look, you should be booing him. This is what you should be saying. No, I don't like that. And especially with something for the Rumble where like there's so much going on. I don't think you need that auditory stimulus to be like engaged in the match. You should be able to see everything going on in the Rumble and know the significance of it and just be like I don't want to say should be, as if like if someone's not, they're like, oh no, I need noise, and I'm like, well, that's a problem. But no, I would think there should be enough things going on with the Rumble and in it that they don't need like the window dressing of the fake piped in noise, which I don't like that either, because you can tell it just doesn't fit. And it's like once you realize it's being piped in, then it really takes away from like what you're watching. Yeah,
because you can see the screens behind. Well, this past SmackDown, you've got the "You suck" chants going, and you've got the Thunderdome boards behind Reigns. And because there's a close-up of Reigns in the ring on the hard cam, you can see pretty clearly everyone behind. Not one person is even mouthing the damn thing, and it's just like, this doesn't fit.
Not. No.
The only thing I'll miss about the Rumble is the big pops, because let's put it this way: Edge's return without a pop.
He sucks.
He sucks.
Terrible.
Not up in here.
Not up in here. No, there's so many moments like, God, so many moments that just deserved. Again, Drew is a good example. Like, I really wanted Drew to get a day after Mania reaction with the title. Like, that would have been awesome. So many moments where dudes were just robbed of that pop in that moment. Like, that's a big thing. Like, we watch certain things in wrestling because of like the pop and the crowd reaction, and that makes a big thing. Like, it's cool to still see, like, if Edge were to come out in this Rumble this year and last year didn't happen, I would still be like, oh man, it's Edge. But it definitely takes away from the moment. It wouldn't be as cool as it was last year when you saw the crowd like absolutely lose their mind. God, just like, dude, what a moment that was. Like, we talked about it when it happened. I don't like Edge like that. Like, he's not one of my favorite guys. I don't think he's like awesome. I mean, I respect him. Like, I think he's a good wrestler, but I'm not like an edgehead, or I think that's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Edgehead. I'm not like one of those dudes at all, but that was one of the coolest moments ever, especially with how like just the real quick, like, you think you know me, and then everybody lost their mind. And you just heard the drums coming in, and just on this day, I lost my mind, and I was.
I've got goosebumps thinking about it.
Cool. It was, especially with like, and especially too because his theme is so good.
Yes.
Like, when you have an iconic theme, like again, like Stone Cold Steve Austin's is the best to me. That glass break, everybody knows what's coming.
Pop.
Like, that's Austin. Pop, boom, the glass break, boom. And then Edge is like everybody. Oh, I got goosebumps thinking about it too. Even before you get to the song and the actual chorus, but you just hear that real quick that you think you know me. Oh, and everybody was just like, no, and it was so good.
I actually have that down as a Rumble to watch this week, so I'm really looking forward to doing it again. But at this, obviously, playing into the crowd side of things, a lot of the good vibes and stuff that we got as fans watching that was Edge's reaction to the crowd. Like, like if he didn't have that, then he was
just all teary eyed and just so caught up in the moment. And that's a big thing too. Like, for as much as we always think of like the crowd and like their reaction to the match, the wrestlers reacting to the crowd was a major foundation of wrestling. Like, that's how dudes used to be like, okay, the crowd is really feeling it. Like, let's keep going for this. Or, the crowd is done. Let's move out of this spot, or let's do this. Like, the wrestlers feed off the crowd just as much as the crowd feeds off the wrestlers. And again, especially for a moment like that, it's even more so. Like, I'm referring to it in like a basic match sense, but for like a return or like a moment, you want that crowd reaction, especially for somebody like Edge, like who battled back and fought and came back in such amazing shape. Like, you want that moment in the sun, and to not have that, it doesn't ruin it, but it definitely like takes something away from it.
Yeah, but
a moment. You think you know me?
Amazing. Amazing. Sorry. Clearing.
He runs in. Clearing. And then he runs into the ring and gets a spear, and the camera cuts away from the spear to the crowd, and we miss the spear.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks for that.
Cheers, Kevin Dunn. Thank you so much.
Unbelievable. What a great moment. Freaking believable. That wasn't on our predictions. Edge coming back.
That was not.
But let's see what your predictions were.
When did we do our prediction show? How much farther before Rumble?
Ooh. Oh, funny enough.
Couple weeks.
12th of January we did it.
Okay, yes.
Oh my God. How crazy is this? 12th of January last year we did this episode. The 12th of January this year. Because for me it's currently 3:20 in the morning, so yeah, I'm a little bit off. But we're a day off.
Close though.
That's crazy.
I know, that's
nearly
really
2 years. If that was not planned.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us.
But I think we're about 2 or 3 weeks off the Rumble.
Okay, so that's not. I remember. I didn't think I started seeing. I think I saw Edge rumors in regards to the Rumble, like maybe like the Wednesday before, like so 3 or 4 days before I started. And then I think Edge tweeted a picture of like his wrestling gear or something like that on like that Friday, and then it really started to pick up steam.
But then he was also really good at dispelling those rumors as well.
This is true. He knows how to work the crowd.
He does. He's
a great.
But let's see. Let's take a look at your predictions, Anthony, shall we? So you predicted that Samoa Joe's. Bearing in mind, Samoa Joe was kind of kicked off the year all right, I think, and towards the back end of 2019, I think he was doing okay. But you predicted that Samoa Joe's time in the sun will be over early in 2020. Correct.
Yeah, I didn't predict that he would be, kind of handcuffed to the announce table, but yeah, I guess I can get credit for that one. Damn, not that he's bad at the announcing part. I really love Samoa Joe, and he's such a great promo, and he's so great on the mic, and he's still a good worker in it. Oh God, I don't even want it. It makes me so upset.
Yeah, it is a shame. And well, we'll come to something a little bit later on in predictions. You predicted Jericho would be AEW champion throughout 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So you got that
very
one wrong. Then you also predicted that New Japan and AEW do a talent share. Shirai leaves WWE for Japan.
Yeah.
Again, a COVID affected prediction, because that could have been true had that not been a thing. Roman Reigns wins the Rumble. Second. So, not far off. Ronda Rousey returns to WWE in 2020.
Could be COVID related.
Could be COVID related, yeah. Again, you got Shayna winning the Rumble. So, unfortunately, we both got second on that. Now, this one's interesting. You had Reigns as the guy to conquer the Fiend.
Well,
technically, you were right.
Kinda, yeah.
I think, like, remembering the episode, I think we were saying it was going to be Reigns versus the Fiend at WrestleMania, and obviously that didn't happen. Yeah. But he did take the title from him.
Technically, he did. I'll take a quarter, like a half a point at most, like a quarter point for that.
I'll give you the full point.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'll give you the full point.
You're gracious.
And then a New Japan prediction. Okada wins G1.
Nope.
And faces Naito at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, I really thought he was going to come back and do that, and he went in a different direction, which I was very happy with because the G1 was extraordinary, as was Wrestle Kingdom for a multitude of reasons.
There you go.
I think that's always just anyone's default prediction now when it comes to the G1. Like, who do you think's going to win? Okada. That's like an easy, like, yeah, that's like, because you got like at least a 50-50 shot of just picking like that one guy.
Yeah.
He had a really good match with Will Ospreay. Instead.
Oh, was that his Wrestle Kingdom match this year?
Yes, you have been out of the lurch.
I'm massively out of the loop. I keep seeing New Japan World coming out of my on my bank statement every month, and I'm just like, I need to freaking watch this.
Gotta get on it.
Did they have a crowd?
Ospreay. They had, but like a restricted attendance.
Okay.
And they weren't allowed to cheer with words. They were only allowed to clap, stomp their feet, or use like the thunder sticks.
Oh.
So that was pretty cool. That was also a cool thing, like throughout the G1, because those same rules applied, and Jay White, because he's a heel, kept trying to get the crowd to like chant actual words, and he knew they couldn't. But then, with regards to Okada, he had him versus Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom. Really good match. Ospreay has turned heel since the summer and kind of did the whole like doesn't want to be in the shadow of Okada, yada yada, so on and so forth, staking his claim. You know, he kind of cheated to beat Okada in the G1, and they fought at Wrestle Kingdom, and it was really good.
Oh.
As expected.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna watch Wrestle Kingdom this week. I'm making that my thing.
You absolutely need to. It was both nights are really good. I like night 2 better than night 1, but they were both 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Amazing.
Oh, happy with that. Well, before we carry on talking, I do apologize. I keep clearing my throat. Like, it's really nice. It doesn't matter how much water I have, it doesn't go. Leave me alone. I keep muting the mic, but every now and then one of those will creep in.
So unprofessional.
I know, right? Welcome to 2021. The gloves are off.
Just terrible.
Not up in here. In fact, I think it was probably doing that in pre-roll that's done it.
It probably is all the not up in here's.
I'm definitely gonna get into New Japan a bit more because as we move into a topical, I'm gonna use air quotes here, panel that you can't see. I want to be able to actually discuss the things that you are talking about rather than me going, oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I have to get on that. I'll have to watch that and then not watch it. I'd rather watch it and know what the hell is going on. So
you need to.
I need to. I'll be watching.
Start with Wrestle Kingdom and then Jay White's promo after Wrestle Kingdom, which was immaculate.
You can keep AEW though. Although actually, you know what? I might try and watch it. Did they do a highlight show of any description? Because if they do, that would probably be more suited for me.
I would imagine they do. I mean, they do AEW Dark on YouTube, so I would assume there was some sort of highlight show.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that, because that might make a little bit more sense for me. So I actually, again, know what you're talking about.
I could be making things up, and you could be like, oh, yeah, and I'm like, yeah. And then, like, John Moxley rode a dragon to the ring, and the dragon, like, bit Kenny Omega's face off, and you'd be like, oh wow, what an angle. I'd be like, yeah, and then Moxley put the dragon in a sharpshooter. It was like the greatest.
Gullible Dits would believe every word.
Gullible Dits.
Gullible Dits.
What a stupid idiot.
Now, before we get into our 2021 predictions, which we will bounce back and forth between each other, giving each other a prediction for the year, I reached out to Twitter, to our fan base, and we've got a couple of predictions from the listeners, Anthony, which you haven't seen.
I have not.
So we're just going to reel these out in order. We got 3 this week. I didn't really give them that much time because I dropped the tweet only a couple of hours ago. Good prep, Dits. Good prep. I wanted the show to be a mystery. Oh, like, what are they going to do when they come back? And I was like, fair. Well, I'm actually only 2 days away. I've lost. The week is just gone.
Good prep.
Good prep there, Dits.
But that's fair.
Tap yourself on the back. That's a Champa back tap there.
Yeah. Tap.
So Noob & Co. On Twitter at noob_n_co1991 on Twitter said Asuka turns heel, Karrion Kross as NXT champion again, Shotzi Blackheart as NXT women's champion, and Asuka wins a WrestleMania match.
Wait, damn, Asuka hasn't won a WrestleMania match.
I don't believe so. Wow. Annoyingly, she lost to Charlotte, which still irks me.
I don't
as great as that match
it.
was, that irks me.
And then the stupid Charlotte was ready for Asuka. I was like, that's stupid. What was the Shotzi one? Shotzi wins the NXT Women's title.
Yeah, I don't think that one's.
No, I think that's actually
kind of
spot on.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're building her towards. Those are all very realistic predictions. I like all of them.
However, this is a bit of a different one. Well, thank you, Noob, for the predictions. Yeah, I actually would agree with all of those predictions. And Asuka turning heel would be nice, because I prefer Asuka as a heel.
I think she still would have stayed heel if not for the whole, like, they had to figure out something once Becky got pregnant and left.
That's true, yeah.
Because she was heel when she won the Money in the Bank.
She was, right? I think.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, because her and Kyrie were bad guys.
That's right. But
then they did the whole, like, they made her kind of like a face with her reaction to Becky.
Yes.
How, like, nice. And because if I remember correctly, she either way, she was, like, just extremely happy for Becky in the ring and, like, surprised and shocked. And I'm pretty sure that no one knew what the announcement was. So that was genuine, like, happiness and shock from Asuka. And even if it was scripted, it doesn't matter. Either way, they rode that and were like, okay, you're a good guy now.
That was such a good feel-good moment. That was good. I enjoyed that. It made me forget about the Money in the Bank match the night prior for a little bit.
Oh, you mean the thing that was your favorite thing that WWE killed and
the best moment in wrestling history. Yeah.
Oh, classic.
Yeah. But going from predictions that do make a lot of sense. In fact, actually, going off WWE's track record, I think Scott might have this spot on. Scott Robertson at Scott WWE F1 on Twitter. The brand split will end either before or just after WrestleMania.
Interesting. I wonder what his reasoning is.
No, we don't know.
I could see...
But it wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me either, but what initially gets in my brain about it is the COVID impact. I wonder, like, would they be like, the roster is thinned out because we've released so many people, or we're not getting enough money because of X, even though they are still getting money. But, like, I don't know how COVID would play a role in that. I don't know if it would, like, strengthen the idea of ending the brand split or be a challenge to it.
Yeah, because I think looking at both sides of things, with the Thunderdome, every show is done out of is it the Amway Center they're currently doing it?
Yeah, I believe so.
So every show is good, like Raw, SmackDown is coming out of there. So if they did go, brand split, gone. They're all out the same place anyway. It's not like they're in different arenas like they were pre-COVID. But then obviously,
I don't know if they could do. Damn, but how would you? They haven't, ever since they've had the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship, there's been a brand split, correct? Were they ever together?
Ooh, I'm not sure.
See, this is where if we were live, we could ask somebody like live to be like, look this up.
It only seems recently that they've gone back to the brand split.
right? So I think they
but the
were on
Universal
same
title has
track.
definitely been around for about, what, 5 years?
Since
4 or 5 years?
Finn Balor won it at SummerSlam over Rollins.
Because did
in
they go to a
20
brand split and then back up on it and then go back in? No, the brand split's been a thing for a while.
The Universal title has been around since, I'm pulling in my head, I think it was SummerSlam of 2016.
Because SmackDown Live is what kicked that off. When SmackDown Live became a thing, that was the start of the brand split.
That was last year.
No,
okay,
like,
so then
that was on that's SmackDown on Fox. But like when it was actually called SmackDown Live.
Oh, I don't know when that was. I know the Universal title was SummerSlam 2016. I know that because I was in Disney World. I was watching Balor. I was watching that SummerSlam while in the airport boarding a flight.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, yes. In fact, it's always been during the brand split because I remember Mick Foley revealing that god-awful belt. And it was red because of Raw, so that makes sense.
Okay, so it was only brand. So that would be my only. That would be another obstacle I feel like they'd have to clear. Like, how do you handle the Universal title and the WWE title on the same show, in addition to the Intercontinental title and the 24/7 title and the United States Championship and the women's tag titles, both tag titles? You probably have to unify. I think that I see the brand split staying.
Yeah, I think the COVID argument outweighs everything else there, but. If we weren't in the COVID realm, I think Scott might actually have a shout there.
Also, if not for the COVID realm, I mean, I know WWE made money, and them releasing wrestlers kind of contradicts what they're saying. But regardless, if not for COVID, they would have more people on the roster, which would give them a deeper roster than they already have, which would increase the odds of being able to maintain the brand split even further as well. So it's interesting.
Yeah, good point. It's a good point. Well made.
Look at us.
Look at us. And then finally, Beej, Aussie Lucian.
Okay.
I'll just get his handle at Aussie Lucian on Twitter. On the old Twiddle.
That's our version of launching it.
Yeah, that's the big reveal that we were going to save to the end of the episode. Damn it! It was playing on my mind. We're kickstarting Twiddle.
Yeah. We're going to let Trump on it since he got kicked off of Twitter.
You have a home here, Mr. Trump.
Welcome to Twiddle.
And then as soon as he joins, we'll suspend him again. So Aussie Lucian, he's got 3 predictions, which are nicely, two of them outside of WWE, which is nice because, makes things a bit more broader. Kenny Omega. I believe so.
I'm not aware.
It's WWE or nothing.
There's
WWE
nothing
then,
else.
now, and forever.
There is nothing else.
Kenny Omega is a dual world champion.
As the what?
Dual world champion. And I assume he's leaning into the Impact side of things, yes.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. That's an interesting prediction.
That's cool. This whole Impact AEW angle is gaining steam and is very interesting. I like that.
When I see things like this, I'm just like, I really need to watch AEW.
You need to watch AEW. Even just the
Which is what I mean. If I've got highlights, then I'm kind of...
Well, even if you don't, even if you just watch a good match here or there, like the Kenny Omega Phoenix match for the AEW World Title this past week on Dynamite was... I don't care what happens for the rest of 2021. It will be a top 5 match of the year for the entire year.
Ooh, nice.
It was amazing.
I have that recorded, actually.
And it was great. And up until I saw Wrestle Kingdom, that was my match of the year. And then I saw several matches from Wrestle Kingdom, and I was like, okay, never mind. But right now it's it's easy top 5 for me. And yeah, if you ever recorded, go watch it ASAP. It was phenomenal.
So I have a lot of wrestling to watch this week, basically. Yeah, is what you're saying.
Stop being a slacker. Stop worrying about oh, my job. Oh, my family. Stop being selfish and do what you need to for the DOWPOD. The crew were talking about you. You what?
I need to sort my priorities out.
Yeah, get your priorities straight. The crew has been talking about you a lot behind your back. I didn't want to have to tell you this now, but just there's a lot of rumblings and thoughts, okay? And because I've always been, plotting your downfall and wanting to take over as captain, I've definitely been encouraging those comments from the crew. But I just wanted to let you know.
Well, that's good to know. I have the backing of the team. Yeah,
I got your back, but I might stab it. So
you're all fired.
Look at us.
Look at us.
No job. Sit in the middle of the ocean. Look at us.
I've lost the tweet. Oh no, there it is.
Okay, so that was his first one. So, so Kenny would be dual champ.
Kenny is dual world champion. The elite to dominate both AEW and Impact, I guess, kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah, I feel like that's very broad and kind of non-specific, but fair enough. I would agree.
And this one I like. I actually like this. Not many people will like this, but I like this. Eva Marie returns at the Rumble.
I actually could see that happening, and I would not. I could not care less, but I could see that happening.
I would like that. I would like that very much.
Of course, that's Eden's prediction. Of course, that's one of his predictions. Oh my god!
I like that.
That's pretty good. I like it.
There you go. There probably would have been more had I been more prepared and got the tweet out a little bit earlier, but yeah.
You're a man of mystery.
I am a man of mystery, yes.
So you're building the anticipation.
Man of mystery.
Interesting. That's a cool tagline. That's never been said before.
I've never heard it before, so it's original to me.
Either. Yeah, exactly.
Original to me.
That's good enough for me.
It's good enough for me. So in typical DOWPOD fashion, we have tangented. Is that a word?
I don't think it is, but I wasn't going to say anything.
Well, to be fair, we make up words all the time on this show.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's strategery. I'm still convinced that's a word. I really am.
I think it might be.
I've heard that. I've heard somebody say that before, and I was like, Anthony said that. But I heard somebody else say it.
It exists.
I'm sure it's a word.
It might be
tangented. Anyway, it's a DOWPOD word.
Let's go with it.
We've done that in typical DOWPOD fashion for today's episode. So I realise the episode has been going on for quite some time, so we won't delve too deep into our 2021 predictions, which, funnily enough, is the actual title of the episode. So we'll do. What should we do? 4 predictions each.
Okay, fair enough.
And we'll bounce back and forth between.
Would you like me to go first?
Huh?
Would you like me to go first?
You know what? I did my look back from last year first. So yes, you take the reins with the first one.
That's actually funny because my first prediction is related to Roman Reigns.
I knew that. You see,
I've gone.
We laugh that I'm not prepared, but I do stuff like that and then redeem myself.
That's why you're the captain.
That's why.
I've gone back and forth with this one in trying to determine what's going to happen with him in 2021, but I think Roman Reigns will keep the title for all of 2021. And if he loses it, I don't see him losing it before SummerSlam, but I think he will be champion for all of 2021.
I would like that.
I think that's what it's going to be. I went back and forth. I was thinking maybe does he drop it at Mania? Does he lose again? I don't see him losing before SummerSlam, but I think he will keep the belt for all of 2021. I think the Tribal Chief will be the Tribal Chief for all of 2021.
I would like that because it doesn't seem to be losing any momentum as of
and I'm fine with that. Give him some good, add steam to that storyline and that character. If he was champion for all of 2021, that means he's been champ for like a year and like 5 months minimum. That's a pretty cool reign. No pun intended. That's my prediction. And again, he will be champ for all of 2021, but if he loses it, it will not occur before SummerSlam.
I like it. It's very possible that is a thing. So my first prediction is a prediction I don't want to make, but I think it is something that is going to happen. And it pains me. It pains me. So, Royal Rumble.
Okay.
I predict that Drew McIntyre will defeat Goldberg and will retain his title. That's the good part. The bad part is that Goldberg will then enter himself into the Royal Rumble and win. Setting up a rematch against Drew at WrestleMania, or he faces Reigns at WrestleMania, which we expected last year.
Gross.
That's my prediction, which is not one I like to make.
That's gross.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
All right, I got my number 2. You ready?
Oh, hit me.
Jay White of New Japan will turn face this year and will also win the G1. So if you want to count those as 2 separate predictions or all as one, that's fine. But Jay White will turn face and he will win the G1.
I like it.
I'm not buying any of the hype that he's actually quitting New Japan. I think it's all a story.
Yeah, I've heard some of that.
The work.
Last couple of days.
Yeah, that's what he said in his post-match promo or presser after Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh,
but then
and people have just ran with it.
Yeah,
okay.
But there's also some reports that he in 2018 he signed a 7-year deal in New Japan, but New Japan's contracts are weird. They keep things tight-lipped. It's a murky situation all around, but I think he's staying there. He'll either re-sign or he is signed, and it's all the work. I think he will turn face in 2021, and he will also win the G1.
Could be his time. It makes sense. If you're going long-term booking, that makes sense.
He's phenomenal. His character arc has been great, and I think he has been he was the best heel in the world for several years. I think he is the best promo in the world, the best person on the mic in the world, bar none. Find me someone better. You won't because you can't. And I also think now he has ascended the in-ring ranks, and I think he's hands down one of the top 10 wrestlers in the world, and I think he's also top 5 right now. He is one of the best on the planet, and yeah, he's going to have a hell of a 2021.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And I hope I'm there for it this time round.
Well, you can be, because since you have New Japan World, you just need to stop, again, having priorities.
Yeah, I'll sort my life out.
Yeah, and you don't have anything, and you don't have anything new in your personal life happening, at any point this year. So just, stay the course. Well, change course actually, and be better.
I'll try.
Yes. I'll try.
I will endeavor to do so. Yeah, I do like endeavor. I don't use it enough. So my next prediction, I'm going to keep it at the Rumble. And I'm going to go with the winner of the Women's Rumble match. And it's not just going to be a prediction of the winner. It's kind of, a follow-on to it. I think Rhea Ripley will win the Women's Rumble this year. There are rumors circling that she's going to be, that she is main roster bound. Personally, I would like her to stay in NXT where she's nice and safe. But
she had a good match this past week.
I believe so. I haven't watched. We said in pre-roll how far behind I am with literally everything. I still haven't watched War Games. That's how far back I am.
You're in 2019.
Yeah.
A year and a half.
I'm in 2019 with NXT UK. If that counts.
Oh, that's good.
So lots of catching up to do. But I think she'll win the Rumble.
Okay.
At some point between essentially between now and WrestleMania, Charlotte will become the Raw Women's Champion.
Great.
And then we'll have a rematch at WrestleMania. Rhea, Charlotte.
And who wins?
Rhea, of course.
Oh, okay.
Redemption.
Redemption.
Oh.
Put that on a shirt. WWE.
Instead of that, I wasn't there. Middle finger t-shirt. A lot of people, after I kind of moaned about it, a lot of people were just saying, we see the funny side of it. And I was kind of like, maybe I took it too seriously. But at the same time, I was just like, fuck off, WWE.
I hate you.
I hate you. Not up in here.
Not up in here. I really hope people understand what movies that's from. Don't tell them.
No.
I want people to know it on their own.
They'll do what you did. They're like, what is that from? What is that from?
They're gonna know it. They'll look it up. All you have to do is Google the phrase "not up in here." It'll come.
That's true.
Not up in here. I like that prediction. I like that a lot.
It's better than the Goldberg one, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, I can see both of them happening. I think they're both realistic. I would just much rather see the Rhea one than I would the Goldberg one because gross. My next prediction. I'm going to keep it New Japan related again. I think in the fall / holiday time next year, well, this year, 2021, I'm going to call it again. I called my shot last year. I was potentially a year early. I am going to say that AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling will have a working relationship or a storyline or angle, however you want to verbalize it, at some point in 2021, most likely towards the end of the year. I think this Bullet Club angle that is currently happening in AEW is going to lead to a Bullet Club New Japan, Elite Bullet Club AEW fight feud, however you want to go through with it. I think that will happen.
I second that prediction. That was one of mine. I think we've seen some back and forth between Tonga and
yes,
I can't remember who it was. Might have been one of the Bucks.
Yeah, Metternich.
Been a bit of like cease and desist jokey jokes.
A little bit.
So yeah, the seeds are being planted. I
like it.
I second that prediction. I think that, and this is it's not a prediction again that I like to make because I do miss crowds, but I think 2021 will remain crowdless for the whole year. For the whole year, I don't think we will see a crowd in wrestling. Obviously, outside of the smattering of people that I think do AEW still do that? They let a few people in.
Yeah, a little bit here.
Yeah, so away from that, like full crowds, I don't think we're going to see that this year.
No, and unfortunately, America can't get its act together, and we continue to spike in different counties, towns, cities, states, however you want to go through it. So I could see that being a realistic thing, unfortunately, as annoying as that is.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. So I've given my 3. This is my 4th one, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we're rattling through these pretty quickly, so, we've got room for, quite a few predictions if you've got them.
I think... trying to time when... I think Becky Lynch makes an appearance around SummerSlam time.
Ooh, in what capacity?
I think she returns in some capacity.
The big return?
No,
or just a
big,
cameo return?
I think she does something wrestling related. Here's my biggest thing with it. The COVID thing. I don't think if COVID is still like prevalent as it looks to be at the very least through the spring and summer, I don't think she would do something that would jeopardize herself or the baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. 'Cause that explains why Steph's not there as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's getting paternity leave stuff. So that's why I think if anything, it would be towards the end of the year. I think her big return will be next year Rumble or next year Mania, something like that. But I think she will be involved somehow, some way in some kind of angle, storyline, appearance, does a move, does something in the summer. I'm going to say SummerSlam.
Uh-oh. Watch the space. Dum, dum, dum.
Dun. Yeah, I'm going to say SummerSlam. Maybe she makes a save for someone or does some kind of something. Yeah. And it might. I'm even thinking maybe it's like, I just don't know how. Again, it's the COVID aspect, but maybe they do like a kind of Rock situation to get her back full into something. Maybe she makes a save for someone at SummerSlam, and then the person she makes the save for, the opponent of that person, take exception to that, challenges Becky to like a match at Rumble or Mania or something like that, and then she uses that to get back into things full time.
Could be the way.
Yeah. Again, it's the COVID aspect. This is the way. Becky is the Mandalorian. Yeah, it's the COVID aspect is what throws me for the loop. If it was just regular maternity leave, life, blah blah, I think it would be easier to kind of narrow down. But I'm going to say she, at the very least, but in a save or appearance, actual wrestling in ring capacity, does something not full time, but does something of substance. I'm going to say SummerSlam of this year.
Interesting. I like that one.
Yeah.
I think you're going to like this one.
Okay.
Going to keep on the women's wrestling front.
Nia Jax wins all the belts.
Could happen. As much as we would hate it, it could happen. on the SmackDown side of things, in fact, actually, WWE as a whole, you could actually say, I think that this is Sonya Deville's year. I think she will be the women's wrestler in WWE this year.
Define the women's wrestler.
So at the moment, to me, I would say the women's wrestler in WWE right now is Sasha Banks. Like, she can do no wrong. She's the push of her life, that kind of thing. You know, like, if you think, who's the top female star in WWE, you go, well, it's probably Sasha Banks, really. You could argue that now. I think at the end of the year, that'll be Sonya.
Okay.
And I hate to use the incident that she had, with the house break-in and stuff like that. But I think that does build a level of sympathy, just naturally. So I think fans will gravitate towards her a bit for that, just on its own right. So I think that'll help her step. Obviously, it was absolutely terrible what happened. So you should never use that as a catalyst for anything. But
yeah, of course.
I think WWE. Oh yeah, but I think based off her own merits, like everything that she did with Mandy and Otis and Dolph, that whole thing over the summer, like I think it was WrestleMania season last year. Like, she was one of my favorite things in WWE last year. And she missed a large portion of it towards the back end of the year because she was, fired. I think this is going to be a big year for her. I really do.
I like that.
I like that one as well. I'm a big fan of Sonya Deville.
You booked her very well in our
I did.
Yes. Series. You did.
Yes.
I think I'm going to go Royal Rumble. I think Big E will be in the final four of the Royal Rumble.
Okay, let's do this then, actually, because the Rumble's coming up. Who's your top four? Obviously, Big E being one of them.
This sucks. Goldberg. God. Goldberg. Big E. Here's my thing, because I've been slacking on AJ.
Ooh.
And Goldberg takes the legend seat. AJ is the established person. Big E is the mid card. The fourth person's always like a wild card. Mustafa Ali.
Oh, interesting. That's a good four.
And then I'm just trying to think of what would make people hate. Like, I could see them having like Goldberg eliminate Big E to win it, but that would make people hate Goldberg. And I don't know if they know that or not. I think, but it'd also be obvious. I'm thinking Goldberg eliminates Ali to win the Rumble. But Goldberg eliminates AJ and wins the Rumble.
Ugh.
I mean, either way, it's going to be because Goldberg, I think, is going to win it, just like you do. I'm thinking, I'm trying to like fast book it in my head. Big E eliminates Ali. AJ eliminates Big E. Goldberg eliminates AJ. Goldberg wins the Rumble. And feel free to give me your top four that you would vomit over Goldberg beating as well.
So Goldberg, of course, I've made that prediction already. I also agree with Big E being in the top four.
Okay.
I think Nakamura will be one of the final four, and that's just based on his booking this past Friday. He did very, very well in the Gauntlet match. It was nice to see him book strong. So I think I don't know what direction they're going to go in with him, but I think between now, I mean, because that's so fresh going into the Rumble, I think that'll count for something. So I think he'll be in the top four. Okay. And again, it's that wild card, isn't it? I think Daniel Bryan.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's my men's side.
Ooh.
Hit me up with the women's side, which I think is even harder to predict.
Bailey,
Yes, that's one of mine.
Rhea. I think Rhea wins.
Also one of mine. Yeah.
I like yours. Bailey, Rhea, Nia.
Ugh, not one of mine.
And see, because again, I'm always thinking of like, who does WWE think would look good, be like eliminating someone else, and who does Bailey, Rhea. Damn, maybe not. I was gonna be like Tamina, Nia.
It'd be like that whole Big Show and Kane thing about 4 or 5 years ago.
Exactly. You know what? No, I'm gonna take out Nia. I think we're gonna get Rhea, Bailey, Mandy Rose, and do I dare say? Yeah, and Nia. I'm gonna leave Nia in there.
Ooh. Oof. So was it Bailey, Nia, Rhea, and who was the other one? Mandy Rose. Ooh, okay. So I would go with Bailey and Rhea as well. Annoyingly, I can't look past Charlotte. So I think she's going to be in the top 4 because she's obviously in a tag title reign with Asuka at the moment.
I'm going to be honest. Didn't know that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, she has made her return and won.
No, I knew that. I didn't know tagged. So if she's in the Rumble, when does she acquire the women's title that Rhea then challenges her for?
I think it'll be a challenge between 2 respectful tag team partners. Whether it is because of a miscommunication in a match or it's just one of those things that just develops backstage, whatever it is, just for the spirit of competition, Asuka will go, okay, well, have a pop. See what you can do.
Okay.
Whether that happens at the pay-per-view before WrestleMania, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I've heard that it's Armageddon.
Oh.
I might be wrong, but for some reason I'm gonna look this up actually because that's really
Armageddon is traditionally a summer pay-per-view. Or fall, like September-ish.
I think it was towards the back end of the year. I remember the 6-man Hell in a Cell being.
Yeah, I think it was September.
Oh, I was completely wrong. There is no Armageddon. I definitely heard that though. I did definitely hear that. Okay, so we're going boring, unfortunately. Super Showdown, interestingly enough, is down here.
Interesting,
but I'd rather not.
Okay,
so Elimination Chamber is set to be the pay-per-view beforehand. So, traditionally they use that as like if they can't think of any stories.
Yeah, they make it.
Well, that's a number 1 contender thing.
Exactly.
I would really like it if it was for the title, and maybe Asuka and Charlotte are in the same. Well, obviously it's for Asuka's title. Charlotte wins.
Okay.
And then
So Bailey,
so Bailey,
Charlotte.
Rhea, Charlotte, and Carmella.
Gross.
Not a fan.
No. And I don't. Yeah. No. I mean, I don't really like my Final Four either. I'm not picking my Final Four of what I want.
Yeah, that's true. That'd be a lot different.
Charlotte was in the back of my mind. I could swap out Mandy or Nia with Charlotte because Charlotte is their de facto answer for everything.
It's that whole Vince meme, isn't it? Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair. That's literally just like anything that they do with the women. It's just like, well, just have Charlotte do it. It's like, oh, okay. Okay, I like how that's rounded out.
Okay, one last prediction.
You first.
Oh, interesting. Okay. See, I do have a lot of predictions.
As you prepped for.
That's that, I do have a lot. Like, you just naturally just have predictions for the year, don't you?
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, general rule of thumb is that I do no prep for these episodes, and Anthony does all the prep. So
I do a lot.
I think ideally I want to do like a groundbreaking one as my last prediction, but it's not really that groundbreaking. I think Aleister Black leaves WWE this year and joins a other company. I don't want to say. You're
an asshole. How you pitched that?
Was that yours?
No,
okay. Oh, yeah. It joins a
other company. I was like, EW.
Yeah, I don't know where he would go, where he would fit. Personally, I think he would fit more in Japan.
I agree.
But obviously, I hate to go back to it. COVID, I don't know if that's something that would be possible.
I think he can go to AEW. I think him and Zelina.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know. I think that maybe AEW would get too crowded because they have a lot of dudes.
They do
on their roster.
Yeah, especially now that they brought Sting in, which was amazing. Interesting. I think he would be cool. He'd be a nice entrant in the G1.
Yeah,
I think Black could do very well there.
Speaking of, and again, DOWPOD tangent. I need to get that on a t-shirt. DOWPOD tangent. Rusev or Miro. How is he faring in AEW right now?
Oh, he's good. I mean, he's not doing anything. I don't think he's done anything of like tremendous note. But they're giving him. I didn't really like his whole like gamer storyline or identity gimmick, whatever they were giving him. But he looks real good. He's at least getting TV time. He's factoring in. He's not an afterthought like he was. I think he'll start to get built and moved up a little bit as things start to move forward.
Okay.
He's definitely doing better. He's not floundering in obscurity like he was in WWE.
That's good. I liked it. I was a big fan of Rusev.
I like it.
So,
my last one. I don't know when, but I'm so torn with the AEW New Japan storyline. I think Pac will dethrone Kenny Omega.
Ooh. I'm glad we ended with a bold prediction. Because we did obviously the Whammy Awards before Christmas, and that was your match of the year last year, and I kind of went along with it.
It was my match of the year. They had a phenomenal match. It was great. You had not seen it, and that was my match of the year. I loved it. I thought it was great. I think they work really well together, and their initial match with each other at All Out was good, but wasn't like at the level that everybody thought it was going to be. And then you could tell when they came back together on TV in February of 2020, they wanted to put on a show, and they did in that 30-minute Iron Man match. It was amazing. And I really think this AEW New Japan storyline happens at some point this year. But even if it didn't, even if it did, I think Kenny and crew could go into that feud against New Japan without Kenny having the belt. That feud wouldn't need the belt. But I think Pac dethrones Kenny at some point this year, and he's the next one up. The only reason I have hesitation is because I have this image still locked in my brain of Kenny winning a match for the title while still being champion, and him winning and celebrating and like confetti coming down, and him just being a real cocky like heel prick, and then the jingle jangle of the Rainmaker coins dropping, and then Okada coming out. I just have that in my brain of like them being like, what? And then Kenny slowly turns and everybody, I got goosebumps even just thinking about it. And Okada coming out and just kind of like looking at Kenny. But I know that's just like a fan dream pipe dream that I have. Realistically, I think Pac is next up, who's all honestly been killing it, and I think he takes the belt from Kenny this year.
Is he still around every week at the moment?
He's been
kind of like in and out, yeah.
But he's back now, more regularity. Death Triangle with him, Penta, and Phoenix are back, and kind of getting some main. That was part of what happened this past week on AEW was Kenny beating up Phoenix after the match, and Anderson and Gallows coming out, and then like the Bucks coming out and kind of trying to stop it, but then kind of joining along. But then backstage, Penta and Pac were getting like beat up by Eddie Kingston and his crew, so they couldn't come out to make the save for Phoenix.
Ooh.
So yeah, they're back.
Nice.
Pac's in a good storyline. He's getting some play, and yeah, I think eventually it'll come full circle, and he'll take the belt from Kenny. Because again, I think he was. Everyone always forgets the original plan for AEW at Double or Nothing, the first one that I was lucky enough to attend. The original plan was.
Never mentioned that.
Good joke. and I should have done your what's that?
Excuse me.
Excuse me. What was that? Excuse me. Look at this. The original plan was Hangman Page versus Pac for the AEW championship.
Yes.
Pac was going to win, but then Pac didn't. I believe Pac was going to win, but then there was, or maybe he wasn't because he didn't want to lose to Page, and all this weird things happened because he was Dragon Gate champion, and that match ended up not happening. And then it was Kenny versus Jericho, and then the Battle Royal, which led to Jericho versus Page, and then Jericho won, yada yada, so on and so forth. But I think Pac was going to be the initial champ, or at the very least, like heavy in that title picture. But things got in the way of it. I think they'll come back around. That's my thought.
I'd have no complaints.
That's my bold one for Mr. Neville.
Mr. Neville. Oh, Christ. I remember when they changed that.
Man, Vince and Gravity forgot.
Yeah. It's one of those weird things, actually. I mean, just before we start to wind down, just remembering him in WWE. Like, he left on a high. Outside of Enzo taking the title from him, the Cruiserweight title, which I think is what a stupid thing. Essentially, that was the catalyst for him leaving, I would say. But he was killing it as a heel in that division. I mean, the Cruiserweight division 205 Live isn't something like for me that really got off the ground, despite the level of talent that they had there. It's not something.
I thought you were going to be like, despite the fact that all the Cruiserweights are always flying in the air.
Nice. That would have made more sense. Look at us. I know you've made me lose my trail of thought.
The Cruiserweight division was sweet, and Pac was doing sweet in the division as like the Cruiserweight King gimmick and the heel again.
So yeah, he was one of the best things in WWE.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I could argue that, and I think he had brushes with the. I don't want to say the heavyweight division because it's not really that anymore, but with the talent outside of 205 Live, the Cruiserweight division, and if he stayed there and this whole fucking Enzo stupid shit didn't happen, I think he could have been a big deal in WWE.
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, if Vince would have given him, I just don't think he came up to the main roster. Vince dropped his first name and gave him a cape.
Oh, yeah.
He had that stupid, or as you would say, he had that stupid purple cape. And then it was just Neville, and he was the man that Gravity for. It was terrible. And then he had this. What was it? What was the nickname there? The King? The King of the Cruiserweights?
King of the Cruiserweights. Yeah, that was it.
Something like that. But he basically carried that same gimmick to AEW and then just was the bastard Pac. And it's basically the same. It's literally like the same ring gear and look and outfit and gimmick and motto and verbiage and pacing and all that kind of stuff. But if you let him go in the ring, like really let him run. We saw it a bit when he was in Dragon Gate, when we saw him in Noah and his time in New Japan. Like, he could be a dude that's one of like the top 10 wrestlers in the world. Like, he's very, very, very good.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, we got to see bits of it in the Cruiserweight division, and then that all went sideways and he left. And He is another guy from that cruiserweight division. I was just like, man, if like him and Buddy Murphy could just get some time, they'd be able to do wonders. And Neville never got his chance and had to leave and go become Pac. And then Buddy Murphy got put into a love angle with a sixth grader. And here we are.
It makes you wonder, but maybe Neville would be one of Rollins' disciples at this point if he stayed. You know?
He might be.
Could be.
So much talent.
But there you go. We're back.
We are back.
We're back, baby.
Look at us.
Look at us. Would you look at us?
Look at us.
End of episode. No, it's good to be back.
Yeah, 2021, a new year. We've had developments in the podcasting game, and Project Dits has really taken off with the other pods you've added to the network and the success that you've had with your individual endeavors. I brought endeavors back because I liked it. With your individual endeavors and Project Dits endeavors and things in our personal lives and things that I got going on with my pod in addition to this. And so it's been a strong end to 2020 for us. And I think this was a strong way to get off in 2021 and hopefully see us through to more success in 2021 and build upon what we did in the god-awful mess that was 2020.
Yeah, and we've got the momentum. We just need to capitalize. There you go, got the word out. Yeah. You know what I can't say? Regularly. I just cannot get, my tongue just cannot do it. I don't know what it is.
Say regular.
I can say regular.
Okay, now say Lee.
Regularly. See?
There you go. You got
regularly. I always get tongue-tied with that one. But yes, you obviously you touched on the Project Dits pod network there. We do have a good team. We do have a really good team, and we've been speaking, behind the scenes, as it were, about really pushing the whole thing this year. We're also looking at recruiting. So if anybody is listening to this and you want to get in the podcast game, preferably outside of wrestling, but you are listening to a wrestling podcast, so maybe. But everyone doesn't solely focus on wrestling. So if you have any other interests, you go, you know what? I wouldn't mind starting a podcast on that. Hit me up in the DMs at Project Dits on Twitter, because we are looking at expanding gaming, music, whatever sport you can think of. Like, I don't care. We're an accepting bunch. We've got a good team. And yeah, it'd be nice to welcome some more people in there, especially at this stage where we are growing. Like, our numbers keep going up. And we are constantly charting in podcast charts at the moment as well, which is really cool to see.
Very strong.
So yeah, now's a good time to join if that's something you're interested in. But big shout out to the guys across the board, Nathan and Dara, who do Plus Added Time, the Project Dits exclusive football podcast, not the American football. Before you say anything, Ant.
You mean soccer?
Not up in here. Not up in here. Who are doing very well. In fact, I will happily reveal they are the number one podcast on this network. They are absolutely killing it. So big shout out to those guys. Then we got Justin, Damien, and Brad over at the Worst Wrestling Podcast, who are also doing very, very well. Brad's just joined the team, so
that's great.
He is. We had him on for Draft That a couple of months back, which was a lot of fun.
He's very knowledgeable. He's fun. He's awesome.
So this goes without saying. Likelihood is you're going to see a number of these people pop up on the DOWPOD at some point. And then, of course, a shout out to the first signees of Project Dits, the Hallway chaps, Kieran and Rian, the Hallway Wrestling Podcast. Very, very good. Rian's been doing interviews in the last couple of months. He had Kerry Silkin of Ring of Honor fame had that interview last week, so go check that out. It's on all the Project Dits feeds and on YouTube. It was actually a video interview, so go check that on the Project Dits YouTube. It is on there right now, and he's been interviewing quite a number of people, and I think that's probably his aim for the rest of the year as well. So all these pods are doing fantastically well, and you, sir, are also doing well with your own thing.
Yeah, not bad. I'm the host of my own solo podcast focused on the Buffalo Bills. It's called Disguised Coverage. It is a part of the Cover One Sports Network, and you can find that on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Search for Disguise Coverage or search for Cover One. You'll find that all through there. And yeah, rate and review and subscribe and all that stuff. And follow me on Twitter at pro__ant. That's pro 2_ANT. That's been going good. And I still have to give credit to the DOWPOD and Project Dits because I had my episodes before I had signed with Cover One. I was putting things through my own individual feed and then the Project Dits feed, and I did that for literally like 3-4 weeks, and then things kind of blew up a little bit, and then it was a really great place. It's a great place for everyone.
Yeah, you could be there. And you know what? I would actually love to have some American football coverage
it's
on
just
Project
called
Dits
football.
again. No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. You're talking about soccer is what they do in Europe.
No. You're literally not up in here. You're literally the only people that call it soccer. It's football everywhere else. Come on.
That's all that matters. America is the hub of everything.
America's number one.
We are number one. I was immediately thinking of the Wolf of Wall Street gif with the one of us pounding the table.
Yes.
But I would. There's a good market for that.
Yes.
Project Dits.
There is. I'd love to have that on here in some way, shape, or form, and then that could be something that you could also guest on.
I would love to do that. I do a lot of guest stuff. That would be pretty great.
There you go.
I mean, I'm obviously still a part of it here, being on the DOWPOD, but Project Dits was fantastic for helping me to gain exposure and listenership and viewership and downloads and engagement and listens and all that stuff, and it's continuing to grow. It's a tremendous network. I'm very thankful to still be a part of it.
Oh. That's nice.
Yeah, it's all made up in a lie, but
you have to say it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm contractually obligated.
Yeah, of course. The actual the link side of thing is Project Dits across the board, nice and easy. But I do want to quickly plug the Discord server that we currently have set up. I've now actually gone in there and made it a thing. It was a half-assed attempt for about 2 or 3 months where I hadn't actually done anything with it, but the Project Dits Discord server, the link is in the episode description notes. Go and check that out. Join the server. Like the link should never expire, so it'll always be on there. If you happen just to find this episode a few months down the line, the link will always be in that episode, and it should always work. If it doesn't, just let me know. Hit me up on social media. But every individual pod in the Project Dits pod network has their own channel within that Discord server. So if you want to have a little bit of personal engagement with the guys within the team, then you can do that on Discord. And it also you have access to a whole host of other things. All my Twitch information is on there, all my Twitch announcements across the board. And there's also like places to go if you want to talk about football, if you want to talk about American football, if you want to talk about wrestling. There's a community feel that is slowly being built up, but it's there. So it's not just a place for, we're just going to plug all our stuff here and blah, blah. It's also a place where people can hang out, people can talk. We've got a really, really good community within there that has been built up across both Twitch and the wrestling side of things. So if that's your thing, you want to keep up to date with all things Project Dits, Discord, honestly, is probably the number one place now as I kind of move away from Twitter. So if you want to get up to date straight away before everybody else, Discord is your place to go. Link is in the description. Anthony,
you're missing a huge opportunity to call it Ditscord.
as everything is a play on the dits.
Yes.
Join the Ditscord. Oh,
Ditscord.
Oh,
that's all I kept thinking about with every time you were like, join the Discord, and I was like, Ditscord.
I'm so glad you have just thrown that right. That from now on, that is called the Ditscord. Thank you.
See, I do things.
You do things. Look at us. Look at you.
Look at us.
Look at you.
Me. Look at you. Look at us.
As if this was tradition in 2020, this became a thing. Anthony would always sign off the episodes because I open the shows. So that tradition is no more because I grew tired of it. So I will. No. You've got it. You've still got it.
Are you sure?
I do. I got
a long.
So many heartfelt messages that have come out at the end of the episodes. I've had people DM me and saying, "Look, what Anthony said at the end of that episode, it really helped me through a hard time. And please allow him to sign off every episode because, sometimes people feel down. Sometimes they need a bit of a pick-me-up. And you have been delivering that to the great fan base that we have here. So for the first time in 2021, sign us off, Anthony.
I appreciate that, and that sincerity from the fans and from you as well. And I wrote some things down here. Again, I don't want to get too preachy or get up on a soapbox or get too sappy or emotional or any of those things, but what I wanted to say as we kick off 2021 and start a new year is goodbye.